It's Tory Horton. He is just outstanding with finding space.
Tory Horton, playing for the CSU Rams. 6'2", a little over that, I think, 196.
He's 6'3".
6'3"?
Hey, just so you know, he's 6'3". I like him. I actually.
I appreciate Steve putting his height bias on the, on hiatus to break down Tory Horton. It didn't play a whole lot. He had a knee injury in October, which kind of wiped out the year, and CSU was devastated because this guy can really play. But coming back from the knee injury, he goes out there, runs a 4.41 at the combine.
That's impressive.
And there were teams I talked to today that were just like, I think he's faster than that. I don't think he was 100% for that run.
Nope.
And so this is a guy that really CSU relied on. I think he was a team captain, and they thought, they thought the world of the way he plays. And I think it's the way he's wired talking to people today, Steve, the way he went about his rehab, probably a big reason why he was able to run the 4.41 because of the way he attacked it throughout all of November, December, January, February, getting himself ready. What's your take on Horton, who I was told, quote, a really good middle round player, like a really good middle round player?
I liked Horton. I thought he was gonna enter in the draft last year, and he stayed back. But I love the way he has fought through a lot of injuries. A little bit more slender build guy. The biggest issue that teams were really looking at is they knew his explosiveness prior to the knee injury. How was the knee injury going to impact his explosiveness? And running 4.41 off of a ACL tear, that's pretty darn good.
It's really good.
That lets you know that he's only going to get stronger, get more comfortable. Think about this. 4.41, and he's not 100%. So that also says that he's not pushing it. There's still a little, what they say, it's a little hitch in his giddy up.
Yep. And I'd add one more thing to that, Steve.
Ooh, add.
Talking to a team this morning who was hoping, and a couple of teams thought this, that he'd put a little more mass on. You mentioned him being slender, and he worked hard to try to put a little more weight on. So if he was able to do that with adding a little bit more weight and still not being 100% off the ACL and still running a 4.41, that made some teams I talked to today really, really, really excited about him because they thought he ran well after the injury and after they were hoping he would put on a little more mass.
I mean, he's got that Fresno, California. Prior, he played at Nevada, right? There's been some outstanding football players that come out of Nevada. I think he set himself up to really benefit. And I think because of that, some teams who really look at this kid can put him in a position where they know, hey, he's just getting back. So let's take it easy, right? Look at the Carolina Panthers with Brooks. They drafted Brooks, and it looked like a steal. And you hurry up and get him in there, what happens? Takes a step back. So I think teams are really paying attention to this. May not be a 2025 contributor. He can become full speed and 100% in 2026. And that's the kind of thinking that you want to have and the type of players that you want to have at your disposal.
I like it. Hey, if you have the luxury in the middle rounds to do that and develop a guy, you go in. This might be appealing to you.
Man, I just love his explosiveness. He's lined up all over the field. You can see with his small frame, his ability still to challenge the corner, still want to get in and out of the breaks, try to take anything to the house. And I really love the way he really was challenging corners. Playing at Colorado State this year, they weren't as dynamic like they were last year, but you can still see that a lot of the dynamicness and the explosion left when Horton was injured, and that really took a step back for their offense.
Yep.
So we got some film to show you. So against Texas, look, he's still trying to fight it off. I don't necessarily know why they want to run a screen on the 10-yard line, but whatever. Still trying to get active. Don't like that. Still against Texas, up top. One of the routes I really love, come back. They're playing cover 3. Bow.
Ooh.
Ball's late.
Put the foot in the ground, though.
It sure does. I would say, man, I didn't really notice it. But Colorado's uniforms are kind of ugly. Colorado State, they need to upgrade them. Who's ever seen a green Ram?
Go Rammies.
Do that.
I know they're playing Texas, and it's like horns, and it's super cool, and they're the Rams. Rammies, go Rams.
Oh, almost catch. Almost a catch, broski. Fearless goes up in traffic. No anybody get blown up.
Still fighting.
Still fight. Gotta go down in the pros though. So you mess up your knee. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful. He's in the slot right here. Going against Oregon State. Love just the way he high points the football.
He gets.
Yeah.
I like the way he runs the routes, do you?
Yeah. Uses a little tempo. He's on the corner, gets the corner to believe that he's going to go back outside. Good job. Love this route because he just shows his athleticism, understanding the knowledge of the play. Right here. Going to go here, whip back out. We call this a whip route.
Man. This route's become so popular, Steve.
Yeah, because you get the guy going. That's one hand right there too.
Ooh.
Good job. Ooh. He makes something out of nothing. It's pretty impressive. Pretty good.
That's really
and gets the first down. Watch this though. Ooh. When people talk about the different types of schools, the Big Five, Power Fives, all that stuff, look at number 8, this linebacker. Mm-hmm. Look at this safety, D lineman, corner. Look at number 10. What position does number 10 play?
Football. He plays the football. Where's he going?
We got another one.
Go. Wah, wah. Let's see it.
Boy got stuck. All righty. Last play right here.
This episode of 89 is brought to you by Row. Listen up, people. It's spring, right? Everything is in bloom. So let's talk a little birds and bees, because everybody's a little frisky in the spring. And Row Sparks, well, they have you covered. If you're looking for a little boost, a little more fun for you and your partner, well, Row has it taken care of. Now, I'm no doctor, but you put it under your tongue, it dissolves, it lasts for up to 36 hours, so you can go back to back to back to back if you'd like. Now, Row connects you with a medical provider 100% online, so there's no awkward face-to-face interaction. And, you know, if you're approved, shipped directly to your door. So if prescribed, new sexual health patients will get $15 off Sparks on a reoccurring plan. So connect with the provider at row.co/89 to find out if a prescription for Row Sparks is for you. Be ready to play with Row Sparks.
Last play right here. Just nice adjustment, man. Good little player, man. Mm-hmm. Down at the bottom. Look, that makes it's going.
Gets vertical.
Poosh. Pretty good right there.
That's a good grab.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Skill set for me, I think explosiveness. I can see some explosiveness and his willingness to catch the ball in traffic. I really like those things. If he can recover from the ACL tear, I think this is promising. I think we're cooking with gas.
Again, yeah, middle round type of pick for Tory Horton. One other thing I was told, Steve, I want to close out with this comment. Like, bends really well for how elongated he is. He's longer. Is that going down and getting balls? Is that? Ah, bless it. When's the draft? You say balls when you're talking about football. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going to say it. I'm going to make you answer it. Really flexible, Steve.
Yeah.
No, really flexible is one of the things that I was kind of told, because he is kind of like a longer type of player and has the ability to bend. Is that something you see in his game?
He really does attack wherever the football is thrown. He attacks it. His ability to adjust is pretty impressive, especially his stature, the way he is more of a slender built guy. He's not necessarily tall like a 3 or 4, but he's not short in stature, almost like a shooting guard. He's kind of that hybrid type of player that he has the ability to have a big wingspan, but he moves like you would expect a shorter stature wide receiver would move.
Yeah. And listen, I'm just going to say this as we close it out, Steve. Nobody else is breaking down Tory Horton, and they should be. This is why you should be watching 89.
Yeah, you can play, man. I love that. I love that. We're not just talking about the same 4 or 5 guys. We're going to talk
100%.
about, and I do want to address something that I saw somebody that talked about is, they said, man, we want your unfiltered take. I want to be very mindful because these are young men that obviously look up to the people in the media, but they look up to obviously former players like myself, or they have the respect for me, or they may lose it. But I try to do a really good job of making sure that I can say something positive. But I know these young men are not perfect. I know they're not coming out of college with, got it all together. That's not true. But I also don't want to fillet a kid, man, because I also realize, not always, but I also realize more and more that I do this, that my voice carries weight, and what I say, some of these scouts actually will plagiarize, and they will write in their report and say this is what they noticed or saw because they're watching the 89 podcast, not because of Steve, because of James, and also because of you. So I want to say too is our first big board consensus hit over 200,000 views, almost 1,000 comments. We appreciate you.
Big time.
We appreciate your comments. We appreciate the appropriate ones, inappropriate. Your voice keeps us in the algorithm. So we appreciate you, man, and keep them coming on what you want to hear next. And we'll be there to give you also a peek into what Colorado is doing. And we will give you a bird's eye view of watching, yes, the most dynamic football player in this year's draft, Travis Hunter. And I have some great intel on some things that people are missing with Travis Hunter. Some people want to talk about what position he should play. We're going to talk about a little bit more. We're going to do a deep dive. The same way we talked about T-Mac, we're going to talk about Travis Hunter. Look, sidetrack Sally, straight over here. If you really look at cartoons back in the day, Wile E. Coyote was kind of a terrorist. I mean, he always had explosives all the time.
All the time,
bro.
man.
He pulled out all the stops for the Road Runner.
Every type of TNT.
Yeah. Oh, I got one. Rescue Rangers.
Oh.
Chip and Dale, and then Monty.
Monty
was a crackhead over that cheat.
Monty.
The Smurfs.
Oh, yeah. Smurfs.
Man, the
wild.
Smurfs was like a Diddy party, boy. It just, I mean, it was only one Smurfette and a whole bunch of dudes. Hey, man. And Grumpy was mad because he didn't get nothing. And you know what about the Smurfs I didn't like? Gargamel was like the black dude. Nobody wanted to fool with him, man.
He was like quadruple the size of everybody else.
I got one. Last one. That was a shame the way Scooby-Doo was treated over a Scooby snack. They would offer a Scooby snack to Scooby and Shaggy. They would do anything for a Scooby snack. Hey, you offered them 3? Oh, That's a really good Scooby. Scoob over there talking about for Scooby snacks. I'm doing whatever.